Welcome.
Hi friends, welcome to episode 4 of our Kids Church Online. This month of February, we continue our learning about God's love through the book of Esther. Do you guys know what today is? That's right, it is Sunday, but do you know what today is? Today is Valentine's Day. You know, we have all year to show our loved ones that we love them, not just today. So today we are going to sing 3 songs to God. We're going to hear a Bible lesson, and I want to encourage you guys to tell mom and dad or an adult, grandma or grandpa or your siblings, what is something that you love most about them.
God, you made our big blue sky. You made the oceans deep and wide. God, you made the trees so tall. And your love is bigger than it all. God, you're bigger than big, stronger than strong. Yeah, you're mightier than mighty, louder than this song. Your love for me stretches farther than far. I can't imagine just how big you are, just how big you are. God, you made our big blue sky. You made the oceans deep and wide. God, you made the trees so tall. Yeah. Your love is bigger than it all. God, you're bigger than big, stronger than strong. Yeah, you're mightier than mighty, louder than this song. Your love for me stretches farther than far. I can't imagine just how big you are, just how big you are. God, so big, we love you. Alright guys, let's do this one more time. You're bigger than big, stronger than strong. Yeah, you're mightier than mighty, louder than this song. Your love for me stretches farther than far. I can't imagine just how big you are. Just how big you are. How big? I can't imagine just how big you are. Just how big you are.
Hey friends, welcome to week 2, and here is our lesson for Kids Church Online. We continue our story in Esther. And so today, we are going to talk to you guys about how Esther and Uncle Mordecai, Queen Esther and Uncle Mordecai saved the king. And we're going to get to introduce to you guys a good guy, an Uncle Mordecai, and a bad guy named Haman. We're going to see how Uncle Mordecai pleads and asks Queen Esther, will you save your people? So again, here is our felt board. We're going to add things to it so that we can set the scene. Do you guys remember when we talked about Esther? She was an orphan girl. She didn't have a mom or a dad, but she becomes queen later on. All right? Do you remember that? She becomes queen later on. Who's the good guy? It's Uncle Mordecai. Uncle Mordecai worked for the king, and his job was to sit at the city gate to stand watch. So he would go to work every day, doo-doo-doo, and he would sit at the city gate, right here. That is our good guy, Uncle Mordecai. Remember? There's the bad guy, and his name is Haman. Can you guys say, hey man? Haman. Every time he walked around, people bowed down to him. People bowed. And you know what? He found a way to become best friends with King Xerxes. He became best friends so that now he is in second in command. And everywhere he went, everybody was scared of him. But everywhere he went, everybody would bow, except for Uncle Mordecai. He would see Uncle Mordecai and he would get so angry. Everybody else is bowing to me except for you. You don't even bow. He just sits there. He doesn't even get down on his knees and pay his respects. You know why? Because Uncle Mordecai believes in the one true God. And he honors God, and he says, Yahoo, way to go, God! And I'm not going to bow down and worship you because I only worship one guy. Well, one day, while Uncle Mordecai was sitting at the gate, he overhears two guys that are plotting to do something bad with the king. They were saying, hey, we have to do this to the king. Maybe if we do something bad to him, there's going to be a new king, or there's going to be a new leader. Mordecai has a choice. What is his choice? Does he tell the king? Or does he just ignore it? Will he just let them hurt the king, or will he do something? Well, he does something. And guess what? He can't just go up to the king. If you work for the lowest part of the government, you can't just go to the guy on top and say, hey, I have this for you. So he knows somebody who's really close to the king. Do you remember? Queen Esther. So he tells Esther, hey, Queen Esther, there are these two guys that want to do bad things to the king. You gotta tell him that his life is in danger. Again, Esther here has a choice. Does he say to the king, hey, there are two guys that want to hurt you? Remember, he's the enemy king. He's the guy that was not from the people of God. He took over their lands, and now he's just their king. Or do you think she will try to save this king? Esther and Mordecai tell the king that there are two guys that want to hurt him and do bad things to him. And so they rescue the king's life. They rescue the king's life. Well, guess what happens? Do you remember this guy? Haman. Hey, man. Every time he walked around, everybody would bow down to him. Except for Uncle Mordecai. And you know what? Haman had hate in his heart. And he says, I want to wipe out Mordecai and the rest of his people. So guess where he goes? He's besties with who? The king. So let's take this off and let's have him talk to the king. So here's the king, and guess who's his best friend? Haman. Haman says, hey, so everybody kneels down wherever I go, except for this one guy. He always just sits. It bugs me. So what I want to do, king says, is I want to wipe him out, I want to hurt him, and I want to hurt all of his people. So the king said, well, let's roll the dice. So he rolls the dice, and he says, in 12 months, we're going to wipe out Mordecai and all of his people. So, Mordecai, Uncle Mordecai hears about this. Uncle Mordecai hears about the plan to wipe him out and the people of God. He hears about it, and he says, I have to do something. Mordecai tells Queen Esther, there is a reason why you are queen. There is a reason why God selected you to be this close to the king. And that is because in 12 months, there is a plan by the government to wipe me and wipe all our people out. You have to make it stop. Here, Esther has a choice. She doesn't just go to the king anytime she wants, because that is very dangerous. Remember, she's been hiding that she is from the people of God. So if she comes to the king and says, hey, by the way, I have not told you that I am from the people of God, she's putting her life at risk. Also, if she just shows up to the king and the king's not expecting her, the king, the same way that he just says, hey, I need a new queen, could just do the same thing. She has a choice to put her life at risk and save a lot of people. Does that sound like somebody we know? Who came as a baby and put his life and hung on the cross and risked his whole life so that you and I could be forgiven? That's right, Jesus. Jesus risked his whole life so that you and I could have an understanding about God's love. Guess what Esther decides? Esther decides to do the same thing. She is going to risk her life to save Uncle Mordecai and save the people of God. That is going to be for our next story.